to keep staring at each other, or are you going to invite me in?
It's just that I wasn't expecting anybody. If you don't mind my asking, what can I do for you?
You need money. I need your investigative skills.
I mean, I no longer do detective work. But do come in if you want to.
Sorry, I didn't introduce myself. Blake. Sophia Blake. Mr. McPherson, I need you to investigate a case that is dear to my heart. Just name your price.
I haven't investigated in a long time, miss.
I really need your investigative skills. I will pay all your expenses.
You mentioned an interesting offer. What exactly was it?
Mr. McPherson, you've been in Paris for some time and I need your help. Only you can investigate this case. I'm ready to pay anything.
Could you give me any more details about the case? At the moment, it all seems rather nebulous.
You probably haven't heard about the Orphée case, Mr. McPherson. The newspapers have kept it quiet. A couple of American tourists were brutally murdered. They were my sister and her husband. I want to know the circumstances surrounding their death.
These murders were committed in Paris. Do you know whereabouts in Paris?
A hotel in a chic part of Paris in the 8th district. The Hotel Orphée. They arrived there about a week ago. They were found dead in their hotel bedroom.
How did they die? Are you sure they were murdered? It may just have been a terrible accident.
The Whites were found decapitated in their hotel room, Mr. McPherson.
Are the police handling the case? If they are, it may well complicate things. Do you know the name of the inspector in charge of the investigation?
The detective in charge of the investigation is named Lebrun. You know, the police are the same in every country, Mr. McPherson. Whether you're in New York or in Paris, you mustn't be in a hurry. Lebrun is no exception.
Your sister and her husband, they were both American. What exactly were they doing in Paris?
I was supposed to meet them in Paris. You know, Mr. McPherson, visiting Europe was my sister Ruby's childhood dream. With Mr. White, her wish came true. They were so very much in love.
I don't want to seem overly interested, but why don't we settle my fees before we go any further?
This case may take you several days. I'll give you 500 straight away and 500 per day of successful investigation.
I don't get it. I've never worked for you before, not here nor in New York. Yet you come to me and ask me to find your sister's murderer. Why me, Miss Blake?
Your reputation, Mr. McPherson. I find your nickname Spooky to be charming. I have friends who know people at the Pinkerton Agency in New York. The suspicion surrounding you is totally unfounded, naturally. You are the man I need for this investigation. Discreet, capable of seeing beyond appearances.
Your offer is very reasonable. I accept.
I owe you a lot, Mr. McPherson. Much more than the money I'm paying you.
To be honest, I'm not sure I should take the case. Firstly, because where there's a murder, there's a murderer. Inspector Lebrun is in a better position to arrest murderers than I am.
Mr. McPherson, I have no faith in the police. The 8th District Police Station, Lebrun especially, is trying to hush up the affair. All they care about is keeping their reputation as a chic area.
You'd like me to begin right away. I think I have all the information I need to begin. You're sure you haven't forgotten anything?
The police didn't find any items of value in the room. Yet my sister and her husband traveled very comfortably, in luxury and with old family heirlooms. It was a passion they both shared.
It is risky traveling with large sums of money. Would be a shame if they'd been killed for that reason. How valuable were these family heirlooms?
An old relic of no value. My sister was very fond of it. Of no value whatsoever.
I hope to have results quickly. I'll be in touch with you when I've made some progress in my investigation. Goodbye, Miss Blake.
I ask only one thing of you. Be discreet. The police must not suspect you are involved. If you'd like to meet me...
Hello, what number can I dial for you?
I'm sorry to disturb you, miss. Can you connect me to the post office, please? I'd like to send a telegram.
Right away, sir. Post a telegraph, go ahead, please.
I'd like to send a telegram to New York, please. The addressee is one J. Wells of Pinkerton's National Detective Agency, number 57 Broadway. The message reads, "Need information on woman named Sophia Blake. Stop."
I've made a note of it. It will leave this morning. Done.
Gee, these suitcases are heavy.
And do not forget, young man, the elevator is still out of order.
Oh, brother!
What can I get you, sir?
Give me a bottle of red.
Sir?
My name is McPherson. I'm a private detective.
You really are a private eye, just like in the movies? You've even got the hat, and you're American too. Oh, Private Dick.
Yeah, a real detective. Investigating a real murder. The one at the Orphée.
Golly, I wish I was a detective. So you're investigating the Hotel Orphée murder?
If you agree to help me, you kind of become my assistant.
Really? Of course I agree. An adventure. Finally.
Tell me about the evening. What was the atmosphere like?
Yes, it really was a most unusual evening.
Did you have any unusual customers that evening?
You must be joking, my friend. Strange customers are all in a day's work for a waiter. That evening was no exception. Like the man who spent the evening alone at a table over there, besides the window. He left empty-handed. Been stood up, I imagine.
What do you mean?
A series of strange coincidences. The telephone was no longer working. The lift breaking down at the Orphée. That still has not been repaired, incidentally. And to top it all, a violent storm breaking out just as the door closed behind the last customer. First thing the next day, I found out a double murder took place, right here, almost right above my head.
And bang! Your wine turns into vinegar.
Some things you just can't explain.
Just call it a hunch. A big hunch.
Yes, that may be so. Instinct. What can you do?
I had this feeling about the White's murder. Kind of premonition. I just knew.
I know exactly what you're alluding to. I had precisely the same feeling when the man left his observation post by the window. like a shiver down the spine. Don't ask me why.
Can you tell me any more?
You know I would like to help you, but I think you had better deal directly with the police. A man named Lebrun is leading the inquiry.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good evening, sir. Welcome to the Hotel Orphée. My name is Isidore Petit. What can I do for you?
Are you the manager? My name's McPherson. I'm from the international office of WAI, Worldwide American Insurance. I'm investigating events that took place in your hotel several days ago. The murders.
The insurance company. Perfect. The Whites left, shall we say, a rather substantial bill that really needs to be settled. You are here about the bill.
I'll come clean with you. My employer is a rich American lady with no ties to the Whites. She wants to take a room with you, but recent events have made her sick with worry. I have to check that she will be in no danger here. I have to give my report tomorrow, so you see, I do not have much time.
Oh, that changes everything. What happened in room 507 was totally unique.
My client insists that everything is checked before she confirms her arrival. A stay of several months, maybe even a year, must be carefully prepared. So I have to visit the room. What number did you say it was? 507?
The thing is, the police have not yet finished their investigations. Room 507 would be impossible. But the room next door, room 505, is identical. It even has a nicer view. A long-term stay calls for maximum comfort, does it not? Follow me, sir. I will lead the way. This is it. Unfortunately, room 507 is not accessible. The police has not yet solved this sordid affair. But rest assured, it is an isolated incident. The hotel does not have a reputation as... What the... What is going on now? Would you excuse me for a minute?
Don't mention it. In any case, I've always preferred to visit at my own pace. Well, the key is still in the lock on the other side. If I could push it out, maybe I could use it on this side. This door leads to the White's room, but I can't wiggle underneath. I'll have to find a way to open it.
It's the detective. Welcome to my home, Inquisitor.
Who told you I was a detective, madame?
I am a seer. I simply see things others do not.
A clairvoyant? Really? What luck. So am I.
I can feel the suffering radiating from you.
Have you been the victim of visions, madam? Rather like me? Visions of murder? The White's murder.
Young man, your instinct spoke to you. You are an artist, are you not?
Artist, private detective, American, and a lot more besides. At your service, madam.
Do not deny the artist in you, young man. It is your instinct, your sixth sense. It is the key to your survival against an insurmountable force that you cannot even imagine the existence of. I shall be there to help you find the right path.
I will remember what you said. Who knows? One day I may even need your clairvoyance.
Should you have need of guidance, do not hesitate. Come back and see me. You are the detective, are you not?
Did you come into contact with the Whites? While they were alive, of course. If you saw them after that, it's your business.
I was only their next-door neighbor.
Despite the fact you have a reputation of being rather eccentric, did you still get on well with the Whites?
I have never had any ties whatsoever with the Whites, young man. They were appalling people. And what is more, they were cursed by evil.
Do you believe that evil was in the Whites' room, just like you and I are in here?
The Whites brought evil with them. Evil lurked inside them and devoured them from the inside out, until they were one with it.
This evil, madam, did it know the Whites? No doubt your visions can guide us.
Evil wormed its way into the Whites. slowly, relentlessly destroying their being.
Please, be more specific in your ramblings. Describe this evil to me. Tell me what it is like.
Be on your guard. Evil is temptation. It is man's primal sin.
Mrs. Loiseau, I cannot arrest a culprit based on your ravings about evil. Please be more specific.
My words cannot be understood, Mr. McPherson. They can only be felt. Come back later. I need to rest.
Of course the door is locked. The front desk clerk is hardly likely to open it for me. I must find a way to get in.
Ah, it is you again.
How is Mrs. Loiseau involved in this case? I really don't understand. Is she a witness? Is she a suspect? Can she be trusted?
Madame Loiseau may be a little eccentric, but she is our best client. She has been living in the Hotel Orphée for many years now.
Mrs. Loiseau would not be a bit, how shall I put it, nutty? Not many people would dare claim that they can sense evil. In any case, I certainly would not.
Nonsense and superstition. Any evil presence here is definitely human. People can be gruesome. Good. Well, if it's all right with you, I have a lot of work to do. Goodbye, sir.
quite sure, Mr. Beauvais, that you have not seen him?
Yes, I'm sure. Go on, Mrs. Elway, go home. We will take care of this, I promise.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Beauvais. You're so kind. The next time I'm at Cézanne, I'll bring you back a nice bottle of red wine. That's a promise. Goodbye, then.
Goodbye. Ah, a little bottle of red. Come on, next. Can I help you?
My name is Gus McPherson. I'm a private eye, private detective. I wanted to ask you if you'd be willing to answer a few questions and help me in my investigation on the Orphée murders.
A private dick. I see. Well, you'd better show me your license.
A license? Of course I have a license. It's back home right now. I can go and pick it up if you want to see it that much, but we'll waste a whole lot of time.
Where did you get this license? In Paris. Private eyes do not need papers. Everyone knows that.
You got me there. But I really am a detective, believe me. In fact, I've been living in Paris for quite some time. I just put my career as a detective on the back burner. But now it's gradually warming up.
Just checking. Always want to know who I'm dealing with. So, you're an American PI in Paris. And your client? American or Parisian?
It's just that my client pays me very well to keep silent. She's very fond of her privacy.
It's going to be hard to help you in these conditions. What if you were a little joker? Huh? The Orphée case is not in your league.
Just a helping hand so I can launch my investigation in the right direction. That way we will not get our lines crossed. I don't want to impede your work in any way.
Forget it. It is baking in here, isn't it? You would not happen to have anything to drink, would you? Just one for the road. Full of promises and empty-handed, huh?
I do happen to have a little something for you. An amazing bottle of red wine. You cannot say no to that, officer. Don't you feel a little thirsty?
Great! The private eye returns.
Am I right in thinking Inspector Lebrun is in charge of the investigation on the White case? Would it be possible to meet with him? That way we can compare our information.
He is not seeing anybody. Just make a statement.
When I read the file, I noticed the name of a certain doctor, Frank Kaufner. What can you tell me about him?
Dr. Kaufner is our expert. Forensic scientist and, above all, psychiatrist. The sort of guy who prefers the company of madmen and corpses to the likes of you and me.
You don't seem to be overly fond of Dr. Kaufner. Is there any particular reason for that?
The chief of police himself imposed Dr. Kaufner on us. It's not going to help matters any.
If Inspector Lebrun is not available right away, maybe I could see him later.
I already told you Inspector Lebrun does not want to be disturbed. But I can pass on a message.
I would like to speak to your boss before I tell you what I know. He's your ranking officer. It's a simple matter of courtesy.
Lebrun will not see you unless you have a picture. One of the White's mysterious visitors the night before the murder.
I've read the police report, but I'm sure you can tell me a little more. What are your impressions on the White case?
This case is pretty messy. A foul murder, unclear motive. If Inspector Lebrun needs a hand, he will ask me. For the time being, he is managing on his own like a big boy. That is all I know.
Goodbye.
Yeah, right. Goodbye.
Dr. Kaufner's office, please.
It's over there, right at the end of the hall. Make sure you don't get lost.
Come in.
Dr. Frank Kaufner?
What can I do for you, sir?
I'm Gustav McPherson. I've come here to ask you a few questions about the White case.
Tell me what you want to hear. So you are investigating the incident at the Hotel Orphée?
Yes, Doctor. Your professional opinion on the murders.
Did Inspector Lebrun send you, Mr. McPherson?
I'm a private eye.
A private detective? Then someone is showing an interest in the White's murder.
A friend of the family was worried, and I'm trying to clarify the situation.
A friend? Are you quite sure? The Whites had no friends in Paris. At least, not as far as I know.
Appearances can sometimes be deceptive, Dr. Kaufner. That's why I would like to clarify this situation by gathering as much information as possible.
I am at your disposal, Mr. Macpherson. How can I help you?
What can you tell me about the scene of the crime? The police have released very few details.
The man who committed this murder, and I stress the fact that he is a man, is probably quite overwhelmed at the present time. This crime was committed under the influence of a sudden impulse, without premeditation. His act is now haunting him. He is not himself.
And you think the motive for the murder was theft?
That is what the police say. But does the official version reflect Inspector Lebrun's true opinion? This murder could be the first in a long series of crimes.
What could be the motive of such a crime?
Love, hate, revenge. Those are the three reasons behind so much human bloodshed, Mr. Macpherson.
It's awful.
You are discovering the dark side of Paris, Mr. Macpherson. And do you have a suspect, Mr. Macpherson?
If I had a suspect, I would not be here, Dr. Kaufner.
It has been a most pleasant conversation, but unfortunately, I cannot afford you more time, Mr. Macpherson. I hope I have satisfied your curiosity.
Sir?
The police have a suspect. I saw the inspector's report. What do you know about the man who spent the entire evening by the window?
That is certainly true. He was here on the night of the murder.
Until what time did the man stay?
Now let's see if I can remember. He arrived at around 8 p.m., took a seat by the window, and dashed off just before the storm broke, at around 11 p.m.
And he stayed there alone for the whole evening?
Now let me think. I saw him chatting for a while with Mallet.
Who is this Mallet?
Théo Mallet. Works at the Orphée. He's a lout.
And do you know where I might find this Mallet?
Mallet hangs out at the Alambic, a bistro in the 14th district. That is where he gambles away his wages.
Why is he a lowlife?
He likes to bet, and when you do, you have to pay your gambling debts. It's a vicious circle. Mallet is a bona fide con man.
Did you notice whether Mallet gave any money to this man?
No. It's the man who gave the money to Mallet. I remember, it was cash.
Did you see this man with the whites?
I have never seen the whites, under any circumstances. There's no way I would have noticed them with that man.
So these two men may have no connection to the whites' murder.
Sorry, but this is your investigation, not mine. I can only tell you the facts, nothing more.
Could you give me a description of this mysterious character?
You could draw him? That's really neat. I'll give you a description right now. He was tall, very tall. Heavy. Black moustache. Square-faced. And dreadful eyes. Threatening, even. A tough guy.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Sir?
Can you identify this man?
Yes, maybe. Yes, that's him.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You are the detective, are you not?
Do you recognize this man? Don't be afraid, it's just a portrait. It can't do you any harm.
There is a resemblance, but I do not feel evil in him.
You cannot identify my suspect.
It is all so confusing. I saw the man so quickly, and he was so terrifying.
You really think criminals have a certain type of face?
All I do is share my visions. I am afraid that if you're looking for anything more practical, it is the police you want to see, not me.
Ah, it is you again.
Thanks to you, I've been able to draw up a portrait of a potential suspect. It's not perfect, but I think that with this we are onto something. Now all we have to do is show it to the police.
That crafty devil with the mustache. Then he is the culprit.
Just 1 minute, Mr. Petit. I never said this man was guilty. I don't even know his name.
With those killer's eyes, there can be no mistake. Good. Well, if it's all right with you, I have a lot of work to do. Goodbye, sir.
Hey, cutie. We've not seen you in ages.
Berenice, what a surprise. Look, I'm in a bit of a hurry. Do you know a certain Théo Mallet?
No. But surely the owner does. You're lucky he's in right now. Your owner knows everyone you know.
You're as charming as ever. Thank you, Berenice.
Call me baby like everybody else. Right, I've got to run too, cutie. You know, work. See you soon, okay?
Yes, anyway, you know my address. Come up and see me sometime. Ciao.
Ciao!
Come on, let's see that hot hand of yours.
Queen and her 3 sisters.
Oh no, are you doing it on purpose or what? 3 of a kind. You beat my 3 aces. Right, I've had it. I'm off.
Hulot, you're not going now, are you? Not when I was about to relieve you of your car.
Don't start, Mallet. Do not think that you can get away with things just because you have settled your bar tab. Why, it is Macpherson. Hey, Macpherson, come over here.
Macpherson? Who is that?
Another American in Paris, who is broke. Let me introduce you. Macpherson, let me introduce Théo Mallet.
Hi.
Right, I will leave you two. I have work to do.
Hi.
I may be a friend of Hulot, but I'm also a private detective, in my spare time.
Oh, goody. A private eye all to myself. And who might you be working for?
I'm not here to cause you any trouble, Mallet. I just want some information about someone I think you might know.
Really? This is a nice surprise. A private eye who needs me. What do you want to know?
A few days ago, something happened at the Orphée. Something truly awful. As you probably know, an American couple was found dead there. Murdered. I'm reliably informed you were on duty that night. You even had a drink in the cafe next door, the Nantes, with someone suspicious. Maybe even the murderer himself. Does that mean anything to you?
Find someone else. Frankly, I have nothing to say.
I have something to show you. Do you recognize this man? That's all very well, but how am I going to find that man now? He'll never come back to the Alembic.
I knew the Yanks were strange, but to talk to yourself out loud, and in French to boot?
Some are stranger than others.
See you soon.
McPherson, here again? You've got back your tit for life?
Hulot, you remember the guy who ran off the other night when I wanted to talk to him? Had you ever seen him in the Alembic before? That man is dangerous, Hulot. He's the prime suspect in this nasty murder business.
Should I know him? No, I do not know who it is. But he did not seem too keen on meeting you.
Unless I'm very much mistaken, Hulot, you were the last person to see Mallet before he disappeared the other night. You don't just run off like that for no reason. Believe me, Mallet has got something serious on his conscience. Maybe he's mixed up in this murder.
I will not say another word about Mallet, but I am sure of one thing. He is not a killer.
Hulot, I have a small problem. There's this lock I've mislaid the key to. Would you know of a way I could open it without damaging anything?
That and a few sticks of dynamite should set you up for that bank job, right? Seriously, Mac, why would I be carrying all that stuff? Do I look like a hardware store?
Oh, you know, there's no mischief involved. It's just for a friend who needs a helping hand.
Illegal or not, I am not the one doing it, so... Okay, Mac, I will help you. But in exchange, I want you to do me a small favor. A little job. Do not worry, it is nothing risky. I know you are good at this kind of thing. This painting is a reproduction, and here is the real thing. Do you notice any differences?
I won't bother you any longer, Hulot. But make sure I can still reach you. I may need you sometime soon.
Goodbye, McPherson. Be careful. McPherson, here again? You've got back your tit for life?
So there's the job done, quick as you like. Take your paintings back, Hulot. I've finished. Better check in case I've missed out any details. Doesn't explain why Mallet ran off. There must be some reason. It can't be me, or he'd have run away as soon as I arrived.
Macpherson, leave Mallet alone. I saw his face when he ran out the back door. It was not guilt that made him run away. It was fear.
I won't bother you any longer, Hulot. But make sure I can still reach you. I may need you sometime soon.
Goodbye, Macpherson. Be careful.
Great! The private eye returns.
I have some fabulous new information on the Orphée case. A portrait of the killer. Here, look.
My God, I do not believe it. Let me warn Inspector Lebrun immediately.
Do you recognize him? Wait, do you know who he is? You.
Elouin? Jacques Elouin? It's impossible.
Elouin. The name rings a bell. If only I could see that vision again. Control that vision. If only...
The inspector would like to see you immediately.
Come in, dear sir, come in. Mr. Macpherson, I presume, would be private detective? I have no time to waste with snoops. What do you know about the White case?
I don't have time to waste either, Inspector. I've got some news on the White case.
I'm listening, Macpherson. Go on, fire away.
I have a portrait of a suspect who may very well be the guilty party.
Where is this portrait from, Macpherson?
In fact, it is your mysterious visitor. He was seen by witnesses. I drew this portrait from their descriptions.
And where did you find the witnesses, Macpherson?
Taking statements is part of my work as a detective. Loosening tongues, looking in the right places, talking to the right people.
Interesting. Our work is very similar. There is just one problem, huh? You are interfering with our investigation, Macpherson.
I am trying to help you, Inspector.
Okay, let's say I agree to work with you. What do you want to know?
The portrait. You say you know who it looks like. That means he's a known criminal. He has a record. Who is it?
Jacques Elouin. He is a private eye, an ex-cop. He lives in the 11th district, and he is in big trouble.
The White case. Why don't you give me more information? The public could help you, and you could use this portrait to officially issue a description of a wanted person.
You are very naive, Mr. Macpherson. This man is incredibly dangerous. Our specialist, Dr. Kaufner, has informed us that the ritualistic nature of this murder could provoke severe psychosis in the mind of the public. Like in London at the turn of the century.
He's killed again? Who's dead?
Théo Mallet, the former doorman at the Orphée. Do you know him, Mr. Macpherson?
I talked to him last night. It was he, Mallet. Mallet fled as I was showing him the portrait of the suspect.
What you are telling me only serves to prove his guilt. Now you have what you want. Make yourself scarce. I need to think. Goodbye, McPherson.